I'm gonna tell you what went wrong.
Floor is yours,
I'm
man.
gonna tell you what went wrong. After the 7 minute mark, the 7:32 mark, around that area, in the fourth quarter, this is what happened. Tatum, 22-footer miss. Tatum, layup miss. Smart layup miss. Then Smart made a three. Cool. Now it's 94-90. All right. Golden State leading. All right. Then Brown, 12-foot miss. Brown, 25-foot miss. Tatum, 27-foot miss. Smart, 25-foot miss. Smart, 27-foot miss. Horford, 27-foot miss. Horford made it three. Now it's 100 to 97. I was like, good.
Oh,
This is good. Right? Then
right.
Brown had a turnover. A terrible turnover.
Yeah.
Then once the game was really about over, White had a 25-foot miss. They only scored 6 points in that stretch. 6 points in that stretch. The Warriors really beat them. The Celtics really beat themselves. They went 7 for 21 in the fourth quarter as a whole. So they got out-rebounded. They beat themselves up with the turnovers. I feel like they really rushed themselves in the fourth quarter. And why is Smart taking all these shots? Listen. I like Smart's mentality here. He was like, man, Tatum not going to take the shot or Brown's not going to take the shot. I'm going to take the shot. And boy, did he take those shots from the three. In my mind, I'm like, give the ball to Tatum or give the ball to Brown. And it seemed like, why not keep the ball? Like, and again, out of all these misses,
25 footers, Jaylen Brown missed. 25 footer, Jaylen Brown missed.
Listen,
Yeah, man, it's bad.
I'm looking at this again. Tatum only took 3 shots from the 7-minute mark on. Only 3 shots. That you can't do that as a superstar player.
Brown, close.
Brown, same thing. Two shots in that bad turnover. Smart should not be the one taking most of these shots. He took 4 of them.
It's not like he had it going either.
He did not. He had some good buckets here and there, but he is not that. That is not his role. That is not his role. I would have rather seen Tatum or Brown take those shots, preferably Tatum, honestly.
Yeah.
And because of all this, now they found themselves in the hole. And Tatum was very lazy with the basketball tonight too. He had some terrible turnovers.
Yeah, I think he was expecting a lot of calls too.
Nah, still no. He had 6 turnovers.
Yeah,
6. That's inexcusable. He scored 23 points on 23 shots. That's so inefficient. And he's missing free throws today. What? Like, it was weird. This was a bad Jayson Tatum game. You're at home. An opportunity to really clinch the series. And you allow your team to beat themselves like this. It's crazy. I'm basically done with my rant though. That was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah. Man, I agree with you for the most part. Like, you gotta put the ball in the hands of your leader, your superstar, and for him to only get 3 shots in the fourth, or in that
stretch, in that very crucial stretch right there. That's it.
Yeah, it's crunch time. I want the ball in the best player's hands, and that's no slight to Marcus Smart, but I noticed that at times they can. Tatum and Brown are still young players, relatively young, younger than Marcus Smart, but they're still the best players on the team, and I feel like they can be a little bit more passive when it comes to it's time to take over. And yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I don't want I respect what Marcus Smart does on the court, but there's no way I want him taking this many shots, especially if you're having a not even average, you're having a pretty much non-effective offensive game. I think I got the stat right here. His plus minus was minus 17. And Tatum and Brown aren't taking the shots. And Tatum, for the most part, they played a great first half. Like, I think the Celtics, I was looking at it, I was like, okay, they got to go on tonight. Like, Tatum was hitting threes. Jaylen Brown was getting to the basket. That acrobatic layup that he hit, I was like, okay, yeah, Jaylen Brown is on one tonight. But that last stretch was just terrible. Another thing, like I said, like Al Horford, plus minus was minus 11. Pick and roll matchups. Couldn't really, this is something I said too. I remember this. I figured that Golden State was going to get those mismatches. And once again, I'm not slighting any players, no slight to Al Horford. But I didn't see that happening where he would be able to switch consistently and get stops on Steph. And we saw that tonight when he was getting by him. And whether Steph made a shot or not, it was making a play for someone else. Klay Thompson still had 18, even though he didn't have a great game. That second half, the Warriors made adjustments, but like you said, Tatum played sloppy, Brown started to play sloppy, and to me, they have to be more aggressive and they have to just put their heads down and not expect calls. Like, I feel like that's a big thing in the NBA now, is that guys expect superstar treatment because they're a big name, they're a franchise player. It's the playoffs, it's the finals. And at this point, you got to play tough. You got to play aggressively and not really look for a whistle. That's at least my mindset of, if I'm going to the basket against Draymond, I'm going to go put him in the rim. That's got to be the mentality, and I don't feel like they had it tonight. And overall, man, I just and they didn't really have a big production as far as offense either. Like, I'm looking at the numbers right now. Tatum scored 23 on 35% shooting. Jaylen Brown, 19 on 47%, which is not bad. Marcus Smart, 18 points on 39%. Derek White had, wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Jaylen Brown had 21, Marcus Smart 18, Derek White 16. But the turnovers were so bad, and they couldn't keep up with the boards. No one on the Celtics had that many boards in comparison to Robert Williams and Jayson Tatum, and they can't get a win like that. So Celtics definitely have to make adjustments and be more careful with the ball, man, because a lot of deflected passes on both sides, but in the end, the Warriors were able to benefit from their simple mistakes.
True. And like you said, the Warriors were turning the ball over as well. They played a sloppy game too.
It was bad, man.
It was honestly a sloppy game.
It was embarrassing.
But the Celtics just broke down the stretch. And good point about, again, we talked about this almost every game, every reaction we had. You cannot drop against Steph Curry. Don't even drop against Klay Thompson. You can't drop.
Yeah, even though he hasn't been shooting that well, he's starting to ignite. You can slowly but surely see him getting a rhythm in his shooting. Like tonight, he looked. It's a way he shoots that I look at him and I'm like, okay, that's not going. He didn't really. He just wanted to get a shot off, but he looks like he's in the intent of making shots to me, just on based on how I watched the game and his motion. So that's gonna be. They have to learn to be up on the pick and roll because they got shooters. It's Golden State.
Yeah, they were doing better. Yeah. Particularly Robert Williams was doing a better job tonight.
Robert Williams was great.
He was doing a better job tonight. He had a lapse here or there, but it's like you just gotta keep drilling that. Do not drop always keep an eye on them. And those rebounds did not help because whenever you get the offensive board, okay, now you got to look at, okay, where's Steph Curry? Or where's Klay Thompson? Honestly, that's where they get good looks off of. And that's how Klay can get hot. All those offensive rebounds and in transition. The Warriors killed it in transition today.
Yep, exactly.
That's another shout out to them.
Yeah, even though Draymond didn't have a big game at all, he was pushing the ball in transition a lot, and that helped them to, get their pace going and get out, get easy baskets. So,
yeah,
big time.
Definitely. So you really went over almost everything we went wrong. The turnovers, the inefficient shooting. Last thing too, I almost forgot to say this. It seemed like when they're in that panic type mode, right? Particularly in that 7:30 mark on in the fourth quarter, they did not run their sets. It was so isolation heavy. Honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
They're just trying to drive and kick. That is so easy to defend.
Yeah.
They were not really they weren't really exposing their matchups. For example, earlier in the game too, Jayson Tatum had Alicia. I'm sorry if I pronounced his name wrong. Bielisa. All right, there we go. You should take advantage of that matchup, no matter how big he is. He does not see much playing time at all. You have to take advantage of that matchup. Take the advantage because the Warriors don't have many great defenders. They don't have a whole bunch of length or athleticism on their end. Okay, so attack Jordan Poole, attack Steph Curry. Whenever they're on the floor at the same time, you can get your mismatch. Draymond Green has not been the best. So you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And run your sets. That was just, it was so isolation heavy. And it seemed like Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, like you said, it was like they're kind of shying away from the ball. Again,
shots.
Right, again, Smart should not be the one taking the majority of those shots. So,
there's no way. No way.
No way.
Oh man.
Terrible.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. It's just they don't really. I don't know. I can't really call out what their sets are, honestly, because the ball is in Tatum's hand for ISO, maybe a pick and roll with.
I didn't do anything. Call an all ball screen, like something. Like they were just literally on ball ISO. Drive, try to kick it, try to get a mismatch, try to get Golden State to rotate. It was just, that's so easy to defend though, in those moments. And shout out to the Warriors for defending better. Shout out to them for defending better. So
they definitely made adjustments. Something that Jeff Van Gundy said in the first half was that the Warriors weren't defending the right-handed drive. Like every time,
he did say that
multiple times. Jaylen Brown going to his right, getting to the rim. Jayson Tatum going to his right, getting to the rim. So I'm like, all right, y'all see they're only going right. So cut off the right, force them baseline, or depending on what side they're on, cut off the right side dribble, make them go into your help defense, or put your help defense that way so that they don't get these easy looks at the rim. And I felt like they cut that off a little bit more in the second half, especially down the line especially when they weren't even taking a lot of shots. So
yeah, that's
them getting adjustment.
Yeah, that's gonna be a common theme over the next couple of days. I'm sure we'll be hearing that a lot. But if we hear that a lot, that means the Warriors are gonna hear it a lot, and that means they'll be even more prepared for it, which is not good for the Celtics. Also, the Celtics were known as a fourth quarter team. They were